turn the time over to you.
I just had a quick smile and seeing Mark Philbrook at the back. We've been together for a while, and Mark has been shooting sideways and underhand, and about everywhere I've looked over the past 13 years, Mark has been there and has been a really good friend. I think maybe that's my message today. This isn't something that can be scripted, nor is life something that can be scripted. Who I am now has been shaped, molded, and directed through BYU. I am a product of Brigham Young University, and I'm fortunate and lucky to have been challenged and given the opportunities that I've been given here in a way that is not explainable. I was given an opportunity to be the coach when I had no head coaching experience. It was a huge risk on the administration's part, and I've done my best to align the football program with the values of the church, with the academic standards of this institution, and with the athletic standards. And I've tried as hard as I can as the coach of this program to make all that happen for the student athletes that chose to come here, and they chose to come to BYU because of all that. And that is the secret of BYU. It's who comes and why they come. And I've tried to embrace that or point that out to every family that wanted to consider BYU is in relation to there is only one Brigham Young University that plays football, and this is it. And that requires and asks a completely different standard in so many different areas, and it makes it unique and special and set apart. And my job has been to be the steward over that charge. And that has made it very rewarding, very difficult, very fun, very sad, very whatever emotion you want to insert here in your article, just put emotion, insert here. I've been through that, as has Holly, which I think has had the tougher job, quite frankly. There's BYU's coach, and then there's BYU's head coach's wife, and that is the harder of the two jobs. Holly and I both believed that at some point we would know at the end of each year when it's not our time to be here anymore, and it would be someone else's turn. And we've, taken a hard look at that every year since I confessed to you after about year 3 that I wasn't a long-term coach. And we've looked every year since then, are we still supposed to coach, and are we still supposed to be at BYU? The answer right now is it's time for somebody else. And I think the program can grow. I think the people can grow. I think I can grow. And that usually comes through change. And I asked our team today to embrace change. I'm asking my own boys as they get ready to move schools and meet new friends and go to the East, which seems like some foreign planet to one of my boys, that they will be who they are, and by that will be enough. I love this team, the players in particular that chose to come to BYU under myself as the head coach, because that's a unique choice. And our success has been tied directly to the players' commitment and effort and leadership. And I've been lucky enough to be the one that had the title of head coach during that time. And I'm thankful for that.
I feel tonight that I wanted to come and express my gratitude to Bronco for the job that he did at BYU. It's hard to define what the job is to coach the BYU football team. It takes in so many things, and he's been a great partner to me. Athletic directors and head football coaches at universities have unusual relationships. It's very, very intense. There's highs and lows and everything in between. We've dealt in 11 years with so many incredibly rich experiences from student athletes, his players, and it's just I have a flood of memories. And at this time, I just want to express I kind of get to be the voice of Cougar Nation to say thank you. It's funny how some people report that Bronco was the default coach when we hired him, and that's far from the truth. He might not have been the first choice, but when he was hired right from the start, we had some experiences that were so unique that started it off. And the 11 years that we've been together, and him at the helm of this team, lives have changed. He's influenced in such a positive way so many of our student athletes. So much of coaches' production is not on the field, and that's the part that the fans never, the public really never get to see. So much of what he's done here can't be said. You can't report it. Those are the probably the most valuable talent that Bronco possesses as those one-on-one, behind-the-scene experiences. And at this time, I'm really supportive of him in this new adventure that he has. People have asked me for years, what kind of a football coach is he? Could he coach somewhere else? And yeah, he can coach somewhere else. He's a very, very good football coach. And sometimes when 8 or 9 win games are yawning seasons, it's unusual for me. But his respect around the country is really great. Every time I go somewhere, people ask about him a lot, and he has a great opportunity ahead of him, which I think he's going to do a great job. I've had a chance to talk with Craig Littlepage, who's a friend of mine, the AD at UVA, and said, "You got a great guy. You got a great guy, and he's gonna change your football team in a big way. You're gonna love it." And my main thing is just to send all my love and support to Bronco, Holly, and the boys, and thank them for 13, because he was here for a couple other years, turning the defense around first, and for those incredible years. He will not soon be forgotten. It just so happens that we got another game left with Coach, and it's a big game. We don't know who we're going to play yet, but it's a really big game. Today, I'd share this. Bronco wouldn't, but it might. The guys might share this a bit later. But as he addressed the team when he left, there was just in unison when he left the room. The team rose, cheered, and expressed their gratitude. It was a cool thing, and I wish him luck. So we'll take questions specifically to Bronco or to me.
The one thing I'd like to make clear is that this is the opportunity to talk about the transition. When I'm back starting Tuesday, I'll only take questions regarding the upcoming game. So don't be offended if I don't answer your question, but I'm giving you fair warning. After this opportunity, my entire focus is to help us win 10 games. And so for what that's worth, I know you all have computers and microphones and stuff, so at least it's on record. Now,
Bronco, with Virginia, what did you see about that program that made you feel like that was the right
Virginia reminds me a lot of BYU when I was named the head coach here. I see tremendous chance for growth and opportunity, and I like to build. I like challenge. I like growth. I like learning. And I see a fantastic challenge and opportunity with real and tangible results that can happen. And I'm passionate to help the student athletes, the players there, experience that. College athletes, they work hard. I would love to have that team see what it feels like to win and win a lot and get great grades and learn and grow as people. And I'm anxious for that to happen, and I see that capability, and I like that opportunity.
How long did you deliberate over it, Bronco?
So I signed the contract. I was late for my meeting with my players today. I called the team meeting at 3, and I got in at 3:05 as I was choosing to sign. So the offer was extended. The true offer was extended, meaning the terms, etc., about 3 hours before my team meeting. So I deliberated about 3 hours.
When did they first contact you?
Virginia didn't contact me until after our who'd we play in it? Utah State, and my interview with them was on Monday following the Utah State game. Search firms now handle most of these hirings. It's a whole different world, and I've been targeted before by search firms, but this particular search firm thought that even going back to the summer, because of the unique standards at BYU and the unique academic standards at University of Virginia, that should that happen, that might be a fit. And so that was kind of on their radar from the beginning, but nothing happened for me until Monday after the Utah State game.
Did your players have an idea this was coming before the team meeting?
No, they didn't. Most of them thought I was coming to give them insight as to who we were going to play in the game. And I wanted them to know first, and I didn't want it to come from anyone else. And so my wife and I guarded it closely, and the timing, because of how late it was, helped with that. But there were varied responses. There were sadness, and there was anger, and there was surprise, shock, all different things. But I want to finish with this team. I'm not for collectively coaches leaving their teams before their season is done. And in my own heart, I am thankful to Tom for the opportunity to be able to do that. And Tom wanted me to, and I want to. And I'd love to finish with playing really good football one more time at BYU. And that's where my focus will be.
Will you be taking any of your assistants with you?
I haven't decided yet, but I have the option to bring whom I would like, and so I'm still determining that.
Bronco, you've got a bowl game in 2 weeks, but a little less than 4 years from now, you've got BYU in Charlottesville. Can you imagine?
No, and I don't want it. Quite frankly, I have feelings for the players in this program that they're not going away, and they're not going away in 4 years. And I would just assume that game be moved back to when I'm done coaching, whenever that would be. I don't want to play BYU, and I don't know how I'd handle that.
Being the game next year in 20, they're supposed to come here. And
Whenever it is, if it's up to me, I don't want that to happen, because this is the place that's shaped, and that's such an influence on my life that I don't see how that can happen, and I hope it doesn't.
You've been offered jobs in the past. What was it about this one and the timing now that made it the best?
I can't tell you that, other than I think it's just time. I've been so fortunate here, and we've won so many games, and there's been so many challenges. But internally, it just, from not only myself but my wife and my boys, it's just time, and I'm ready for a different and unique and fierce challenge, and to help other players, and I think BYU can also benefit from change, and I think that's part of growth and progress and advancement, and so I'm for that.
Bronco, how will you do right by your players prepping for this bowl game while you're assembling the staff and presumably recruiting for the team?
I think my players know that. I think they know who I am, and they currently are my priority. After I go out to Virginia and am announced, anything that I do in relation to that job is after the preparations that happen for our upcoming game, and it can happen sequentially, and it's going to happen sequentially, and I'm going to put a fantastic staff together. to lead and guide and direct young men that will ask everything that they have to help them win, and I'm going to do the same of this team while I'm coaching them, and they're both going to go on at the same time.
For the last 13 years, the religious element of coaching at BYU has been very prominent in what you've done. What's it like considering going to a place where that takes a backseat to other things?
I'm first of all really thankful that not only I had the chance to work at BYU, that is an institution that is governed and sponsored by my faith. I don't think it's possible for a head coach to do a great job at BYU unless that link is there. It's too difficult. And I was fortunate enough and given a lot of latitude to incorporate that at every turn in the program. I wasn't asked to, but I was allowed to. And I'm just as passionate as in developing character and moral virtues of being a good citizen in society and a great student and a great husband and a great father. And I see a lot of very similar parallels regardless of faith or ethnicity or culture. And I can't wait to express that and teach that.
Did your trip to Virginia a couple, 3 years ago stay with you? Did it have any influence on you?
I just remember the rain and the delay, and I don't remember a single play other than just what a weird game that was. I don't remember anything else.
The ambience, the environment, anything about
I
it?
don't remember a thing.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say yes, but no, it didn't weigh in.
Bronco, will you recommend to Tom a replacement?
Yeah, we've had that brief conversation today, and I just framed it. If you're interested in my opinion, I'd be glad. I want the program to do well forever. I would love to be viewed as expendable, and that we just keep winning. And it is we. Even though I'm coaching at Virginia, I hope we keep winning, and I hope we keep winning for a long time. And that's the best gift I could have given to the program, is that it keeps going, and that's my number one intent. But I also know it's not my place to then recommend without being asked. And in a short conversation today, we had under a timetable, but Tom asked and I made a recommendation, and I want the players to have success. I want the institution to have success, and I want that because of what it does for the faith, and specifically the LDS faith. And I'll be as disappointed, if not more so than anyone, if that doesn't continue, and that's what I want.
Bronco, can you tell us who it is in Charlottesville? What is your timeline on arriving in
I will be I'll be leaving Sunday morning, be announced on Monday, conduct some interviews and different things on Monday. I'll be back Monday night, and then I'll stay here in Provo, coaching our team through Las Vegas, and then when the bowl game is over, then I'll depart with Holly and the boys for Charlottesville. And I'll be contacting recruits by phone from here, their existing signees, until then. So I won't have a chance to see them until after the new year.
Tom, leading up to this and during the season, have there been any discussion of a contract extension for Bronco?
Generally, with Bronco and I in the last couple contracts, has gotten to the end of the year or the year before and started those discussions. So that would have been in the normal process, would have probably started at the beginning of the new year.
Tom, is BYU prepared to maybe pay what the market value is for a coach these days?
Well, I think these days there's pretty much two camps. You have the college football playoff, Power 5 or however you want to, autonomy conferences, and obviously because of the revenue stream from TV these days, there's quite a bit more revenue coming. So I think if you look at those two groups, you'll see better averages or standards in those two lines or in those two groups. So we're prepared to be able to go out and find a great coach to carry on the traditions here and be very, very competitive in our salaries. But you're talking about two different groups now.
You couldn't have matched Broncos.
No.
So I'd like, can I weigh in on that?
Sure.
I mean, from the head coach's seat, if someone expected that at BYU, they would not be aligned with what's realistic. Part of this coaching at BYU is what you gain through the experiences of and who you become because of that. And yes, there is a market value part, And I understand this completely, and I've been through it. But if that's what you end up being hung up on, you will not be effective here for very long. And so that just has to be understood, because there's plenty of other things that add value here besides that. And it takes a pretty unique perspective to gain that.
So then how much did money matter to you in this deal?
Very little. Very little. I want to coach a team that can grow and improve and help them reach their potential. And that's what is at the heart of my decision.
Was it important to you to have like measurable potential? Like, because here it's hard to define success, as Tom said. Did that weigh on you at all too?
I'm not sure I
Well,
understand.
with independence, it's hard to measure
Oh.
success here, and there's scrutiny for 8 and 9 win seasons. Whereas Virginia, you could go in and have a conference title or play for more.
I don't think it's as much as the metrics or the tangibles. I think it's more of challenge and change and growth. And I think for anyone at any time, there can come a point where that rate becomes not as noticeable, maybe to self or others. And there's still plenty of room for improvement here. But the chance for a challenge and a different type of challenge and growth and development of a different program, and to help a different set of players reach their potential, I like that idea.
Tom, do you have a timeline for the new hire?
I don't really have a timeline. This is the time. We're in it right now. And I think sooner than later is the most important. People ask a lot about timing and why now and why before a bowl game, why not why after. There's really no good time to make a coaching change ever. There's always something in the cycle of a college football team and program. And if you look around the country right now, this is the time and when it happens most. Doesn't mean it's the best time. It just means it's the time that it happens. The dominoes are kind of falling at the same time. And so it's a little bit, it makes it a little bit more difficult because candidates and coaches here, there, and at the different places are playing in games right now. They're involved with their teams and want to be focused and doing the things they can at the same time, trying to discuss, potential changes. So, though it could be challenging, that's the way it is around college football right now.
Did you use a similar approach to what you were talking about with the searches, the coaching search?
No, not really. It's quite a bit different at BYU, as many of you know. To the head coaches, to be a head coach in any sport at BYU, you have to be an active member of the LDS faith. So if you look around the country at the candidates, I know all of them. So I don't need a search firm to tell me who they are. Across the country, the pool could be 40 candidates or 30 for a job such as Broncos.
Tom, as you move forward in this search, what are you looking for to help this program meet the vision that you have?
I'm looking for leadership, expertise, someone that has a great connection with the players and can bring the best out of the players. Looking for in this job, it's important, like Bronco said, to be fully aligned with the mission of the school. That's an important thing here. We're looking for some recruiting is a huge part these days. I think maybe many years ago, all the LDS recruits would come to BYU. And now everyone wants the LDS recruits. So you got to fight like crazy and scrap to get them. So recruiting is a big part of it. A lot of the things that Bronco talked about are the things that we'll be looking for, and that is someone that understands the academic requirements here, the honor code requirements here, the physical requirements of being on this team, and that's a great candidate for us. I feel that since 1972, we've had 3 head coaches. There's not very many schools that can say that. And I know that this tradition will continue, and we just go in a different direction now as a result of Broncos taking this UVA job.
Bronco, you set some pretty lofty goals for this program. Some you've reached, some you haven't. As you move on here, do you think that this program has the resources and is in a direction where they can meet some of those goals?
I have to believe that. In my core, it has to happen. And at some point, all of that will align. But BYU has to have the very best of character. They have to have the very best in faith. They have to have really good football players. And they have to have kids that really want to come here. And a team that doesn't win 10 games per year or finish in the top 25 or win their bowl game, to me is that has to happen at BYU because of the overarching mission of the church, and to continue to add credibility to Brigham Young and its reputation and what it represents. And those are great things to shoot for, and it's a great opportunity to wake up every morning and reach for that. And I have to believe there's that and more. And I won't ever come off of that, regardless of what others say the realities of that are. That's the sustaining part of doing this job. And I still embrace and endorse that.
What do you anticipate missing most about living here, working here?
Yeah. One of the things that I tell the prospects is there's no trade-offs based on the type of person that you are. If you want a faith-based experience, choose BYU. If you want phenomenal academics, choose BYU. If you want like-minded friends, choose BYU. For young people, if you're considering possibly sharing a milkshake with someone that might end up marrying you at some point, come to BYU. And if you want great football, come to BYU. And so for the special type of young men that want all of that, I'll miss them, because that's who's choosing this place, and I will miss them.
Tom, I imagine you don't have a search firm because of the unique, what you just described. Is that true?
Yes,
Who will be making the hire?
me.
Tom, when you look back and you want to talk about Bronco Mendenhall's legacy at BYU, how would you summarize that as being someone that oversaw him and watched where the program went to where it is now?
It's been successful. One of the things that, if you like round numbers, a win in Las Vegas would be his 100th win. And in an 11-year span, you can't match that very much. There's a handful of schools in the country in the last 11 years that have been able to do that. And like I said in my earlier comments, if you're going to, a lot of people will just measure wins and losses. So if that's the answer you want, that's pretty good right there. But beyond that, I just measure the successes off the field, the anecdotes and stories, the images that I've seen through the years with this team. One thing that just jumped into my mind was Thursday's Hero, which was a program that Bronco started in about, well, it started kind of right away, but formally maybe in the second or third year, where our team has been able to meet and love some children, older folks, people that need a little love and support and who are going through challenges and such. To see our players grasp onto that program and to see their faces every week, sometimes multiple times a week, because there's so many people that want to be part of this program and that we can help, and we do. That's part of Bronco's legacy here. I think that it'll years from now, I think it just gets stronger years from now. But I think one of the things is he's still got a lot of football in him, and he's going to set his own goals for the future there. And the same thing is true for us. We're both hoping that we split off and continue to climb. And from the few players that I've talked to today, this bowl game maybe means more to our team than any bowl game that we've played. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to control their emotions and put that in the right direction to come out and play a phenomenal game.
Would you like to play Utah Bronco?
I want to play the best available team, and if that happens to be the University of Utah, I'm for that. I would make a comment in regards to that. I didn't think this at the beginning when the rivalry stopped for that, how many, 2 years?
2 years.
Is this the second year?
Yeah.
As a coach, it all kind of, I think one of the unique things about college football is the sense of rivalries and having that capacity to play an in-state rival or a regional rival. And with conference realignments and a lot of that, some of that's changed. I think there does come a point where rivalry behavior can become unhealthy. And I didn't see that while in it. I only saw it when we'd stop playing. And And if we do end up playing the University of Utah, I like the model of if both teams qualify, if it ends up that there's a destination at the end where you get to and you possibly meet, but you have to earn your way to get there. And possibly people along the way will be able to see a different perspective and put it in a different place in terms of value and civility and treating it in a way that could really be a productive game and event rather than a divisive game and event. And so if it happens to be the University of Utah, maybe it'll be framed that way. But again, what I want and what our team wants is the very best opponent. Again, I like challenge. And if you look at whom we scheduled this year and whom we scheduled for next year, and then the next and the next, I'm not interested in Brigham Young staying the same. And for those that won't come here, we'll go there to take them on. And a bowl game just gives you another great chance to play a good team neutral, which fits right in with our existing philosophy.
We've got time for a couple more questions.
You've made this announcement a couple hours ago. I'm sure you've been inundated with players, coaches, friends. Has there been any response that stuck out to you or any individual?
Yeah, there has. Overwhelmingly, the past intimate experiences I've had with players, the number of players that I've received texts from or calls, I mean, I don't even know how, my phone's not even functioning anymore. It's just like, I don't know what happens when it gets to, I mean, it's not working. But what the remembrance of those moments along the way, I don't even remember what year they played or how many games we won, but I do remember the moments they're talking about and being thanked for that and me being able to express my love for them and vice versa. Man, that's worth being here for 11 years just for the past couple hours. That part feels really good.
Tom, how quickly can you move, given that Broncos worked before, and so you had an idea, and it's a small pool, and there's pressure on recruiting, and commits you want to hold on to? How quickly can you do this?
Well, I've already started making calls and talked to a couple of people, and so that process will go as fast as it can. It's really important that we make the right choice and not rush into it, especially with how important this job is. So, if it's hard to put a date on it because I don't want to do that because there always could be some little caveat about a person that might not be able to be available till a given time or something, and it doesn't have anything to do with us not trying to move. So we'll go as fast as we can, handling it the right way.
It's a chance to change the identity of the program. You know, you've been a school that drops back, throws the ball, plays exciting football. Would you ever consider changing that with Desire?
I think that most importantly is the person, the philosophy, the character, their pattern of success with student athletes on the football field, off the football field, all those things. It always comes down to the student athletes, and regardless of what we run or how we play, it would come into play. But I'm not going to start with that. I'm going to start with the person.
Last question.
So, lastly, I'd just like to reiterate, and I would appreciate, so again, once I'm back from Virginia, the focus is on our team now, and BYU's 2015 team, and our game that's coming up. And so I'm asking and would appreciate that focus.